Okay, so let's create a geometry node. And this geometry node, we're going to do, we'll call it troll. And then we're going to import a FBX character import. And we are going to reference in our character. So I have the hit file, source files, troll. And take a second, and then we should get the mesh into our scene. And there we go. There is kind of a view thing that sometimes happens. I'm not always completely sure why that happens, but if we look at the render, it should render okay. The mesh rendered okay, we just need to update the color. So what we can do, since we're going to be looking at this, let's add a color here, and that should be white, and visualize that, and I'll update, and then we should get everything. There we go. So that works, everything looks good. Let's stop the render. I have some other geometry and stuff for the armor. I just did a quick bind on, but actually, like, we can see that it's deforming the head with the way it is, but we're not going to worry about it because we're going to blast it all anyways. So I'm going to create a blast, and we're just going to work with the body. So I'm going to select the CC body and then invert the selection. That way we're only working on this. That's interesting. And we have the whole color white. Let's, just to make this easy on us, add a material, and then let's create a material, because we can reassign the textures that we have in the file, because it's a little annoying that everything is all super transparent. The mesh is there, it's just more annoying in the viewport. So now that I created that material, let's just go in here. Let's call it troll base. Okay, then back to the object level, troll, and then we will assign the material that we just created. There we go. So that way it's a little bit easier to work with, and we can kind of see the geometry itself. Okay, so we have this now, and then let's go ahead and start creating our skeleton. So let's create a null node here just to organize ourselves. And this is going to be our out base geo. Let's classify it as troll, out troll base geo. So we have that, and let's give it a color. I just pushed C on the keyboard. You can also push this button here to get the color. Probably add a shape. Do I want to add a shape? No, I'll just leave it like that. Okay, so I want to start creating a set of controls for this character. Let's start off with creating the spine. So what I want to do, let's go over here. Let's do an object merge, and we're gonna merge that out base geo right here. And then let's get from here the edge, or it's curve from edge, from edges, and that gives us curves for every single edge, but we want to just specify something around the pelvis. So let's go here, let's switch over to edge. Actually, let's put it on smooth shaded with wireframe. It'll be a little bit clearer for us. And I want to get kind of the pelvis. I got the edge here. Let's see if we can get a good edge loop that goes all the way around. That looks like a good one for us. So I'm going to do that and then push enter on the numeric keypad. I have that pelvis area, and then I'm going to extract the centroid. So that gives us a single point there. That's good. And this is going to be the pelvis. Okay, so with the points that we're going to create, we want them to have names also. So let's do that. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it, we need to switch it over to points. This is going to be our pelvis. So I'm going to have a naming convention C underscore pelvis underscore JNT. And I should probably, let's give it a prefix here, troll. And actually what we can do to make this a little bit cleaner, let's create a null node. I'm going to start off creating a set of controls. So let's make this a different shape so that's easy to find. And I'm going to make it a bright color so that's easy to find again. Let's edit parameter interface. And first I'm going to hide these so that they don't get in the way. And then let's create a folder. This is going to be a tab. And the name, let's call it base properties. Character properties. Instead of base, I'm just going to call it char properties for character. And then inside of that the folder, let's create a string, which is basically like text. Throw that in there. This is going to be the char name, character name, except, so we can see here, troll. Okay, and then I'm going to copy parameter, and then in the name here, instead of troll, what I'm going to do is delete that and then right click paste relative reference. There we go. So that way it is going to be referencing whatever this setting is here. Cool. So we can check if that worked by looking at the geometry spreadsheet. We can see that we have the name property there. It says troll underscore C underscore pelvis underscore JNT. Okay. Now let's go back to our scene view, and we have the pelvis. Let's name this out underscore pelvis underscore PNT for point. And then I'm just going to copy all of this over. And on this one, let's make a new selection for the curves that are being created. So we have all of these points. We don't want any of those. And then what I'm going to do is select something up by the chest area. I'd like it up closer by the clavicle and not as low down. Let's see if we get this one here. Kind of almost went where I wanted it. So let's try selecting it this way. Let's do this edge loop right underneath it. Nope, it's going in through the body. Let's do this one. Nope. Yeah, this is going to be the one that we'll use right here. So give us a point for the chest area. And if we wanted to, which I think I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect this section here, and I will go in and select this whole section there. So it's a little bit of a better line that I'd like to use. Push enter. You can see we get that. We copied everything over, so we should get a centroid there. And then we have the name. Let's adjust this. So this is going to be upper chest. Okay. So we have, let's merge these right now. Just going to start off with the pelvis, then the upper chest. Let's rename this. Okay. And if we template this, we should see that we have the 2 points inside of the chest, one down here and one up here. Okay, so now I want to create a line for these. Actually, let's build some more points. We could just at this point do a add and then change it over to polygon and polygon by group and create a line like that, and then remesh it so that we have the number of points that we want. But I'm going to specifically designate the rest of the points that we actually want to use. So let's create another one here, and this one's going to go like in between, I guess. So I want to make sure that I am adding these in the order from the parent and each child leading into it. And let's select this right here and get the point that we want. So I'm going to do like the lower chest area. Let's do this. Nope, I don't want it shooting up that way. So I'm going to just select the lines here. There you go. Push enter. We get those lines. And then I'm going to do the centroid, make sure we get this. And then this is going to be lower chest. And we can rename this lower. And we'll put the point there. Cool. So we should see the points here. Let's make it a little bit more obvious. We'll turn on the points there, and we can look at the points number. So we can see it still goes 0, 1, 2. That's great. And that is good there. And let's take these and let's add a color. Well, let's make the joints blue. Put the control, I guess, over here. Oops. I don't need a duplicate of it. I just need that over there. Okay, so let's template the mesh really quick, see? And I think I'm going to add like a mid-chest and a waist, and that'll be enough. So let's do that here. I'm going to expand this a little bit. You don't need as much real estate on the viewport right now. Pull this down. Okay, and then I'm going to cut those and just connect them in order. Select all of these. Nope, that organized everything. I was hoping that we could get it just these. So I'm just going to move these out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be the waist, and this is going to be the mid-chest. Okay, so let's set up these. So if we wanted to kind of compare the waist, actually the waist is easy, that's going to be the belly button, but we can see kind of where the 2 points are and kind of get, actually it's going to be this edge right here, not the belly button for this character, but around there. So let's go here. I don't need to see all the points or the point numbers because that makes things hard. Holding control to deselect, and then this part where it kind of comes in to the center there, where it pinches on the sides, that's what we're going to call the waist. Okay, push enter, we get that waist, we extract the point, we get the name, let's change the name, so instead of lower chest, we have waist. Got that out. Okay, then let's look at the mid-chest, and we want a point between the lower chest here and the upper chest, so it's going to be kind of around the pectoral Let's go here, select that curves from edges, click on this tool, and let's go maybe right above the pecs. You can see it shoots up across the head, and we don't want it to do that. Okay, and then let's have it go this way. Oops. Let's try that again. Was it this edge there? Yeah. Then it shoots up into the head. Oops. Button control is what I want. And then I can hold shift, click on this, and then hold A, and it will do the shortest distance between the lines that we have set up. And you can see that it's trying to do an edge loop there, which is not quite what I want. I want it to go here, and then here. There we go. So I think that is pretty okay. I almost feel like I want it one edge higher. It's spent some time doing that, but it's not quite the edge I want. I want this edge. That's going to be better. I obviously don't want it to go up across the body on the top there. And I'm going to push space 2. Get me into the front view here. And I am going to kind of draw a line there, so that way I can get on the back end, and then I'm going to go space 1 to go back into the perspective view. We can see that we get these edges here, and then I'm going to hold A to go across here, across there. I'll hold shift, click, and then shift A to go here and here. I think that's going to work. I'm going to push enter on the numeric keypad. And it looks like we have a few extra edges that we don't want, so let's go back and select those edges that I did not notice that we had selected. Holding control to deselect them, and then we can push enter, and then F to frame to make sure we got what we're looking for, and we do. We got that center point. And the name, this is going to be our mid chest. And let's look at the merge. Cool. And you can see it's kind of looking like a spine, which is what we want. That looks good. And then I am going to go here and do an add. And this add is going to be polygon by group, and it creates the edges for us. Let's double check. We got the points, the numbers, and it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is what we want. Okay, and then now that we have that, let's uncheck that, and we have this whole spine section. Then I'm going to create a null, and this is going to be an out spine. They're not joints yet, so let's call them line. And then make this blue. Okay, so I'm going to take all of this now, and let's put it inside of a network box. Let's call this spine. So we have this, and we can collapse it if we wanted to. We can color coordinate this also if we wanted to. Let's make it a light blue. So that way we know that we are creating a element of the skeleton there. Okay, so now that I have the spine, let's move on to another section. So I'm going to alt drag this object merge that we had from the original skeleton, and we can visualize it here. Yay, it all works. So we have that, and then I'm going to get all this, drag it, going to connect it here, and then let's start off with the arm. I'm going to do the clavicle. So the clavicle's going to be like somewhere up here. let's look at the curves that we want to select for this. So that upper chest is kind of in that clavicle area, but we do essentially want like this area here, but we're gonna take that half there, and then let's do that same thing but back here. Okay, so we're gonna get where the clavicle area is on that side. It's gonna be kind of like in between the clavicle and the scapula so that we can move that whole area. Okay, we extract a centroid, give it a name, so this is going to be clavicle. Okay, we get it there. So let's see where on the body it is. And actually looking at it, I do want it to kind of pivot more from the center. So let's limit on here. I'm going to turn off the templating. How much of these edges? Because I really only want it. I want it where the pivot point for the clavicle is going to be. So if I deselect that, and let's deselect a couple of these. And then here on the side, let's do something like that. And then here in the front. Okay. And then let's push enter. And we get a more limited selection. We get the point and name it out clavicle. And okay. And then let's look at it with the templated mesh. See if it's in a little bit more of an appropriate area. And we can use this maybe. Let's look at it in the front view. Space 3. And I do want it a little bit more centered towards the center. So let's get that, and I'm going to deselect one more edge because I really want it to pivot kind of from there. Okay. And then we got the point. Yeah, I'm more happy with that. Great. Okay, so I'm going to take this and then Alt drag. There we go. And we're going to do the shoulder. And let's get some shoulder points. So we're going to go not in that. Select this one, go into the group, and then we want to get the shoulder. Gonna limit how far down that goes. Do I want that? Let's do this. We really want to kind of look at where the pivot is going to be happening from. If we do one more up here, is that going to be better? Let's do one more higher. Let's see if that works. Okay, I like that. Let's go here. And then we're going to extract a centroid, give it a name. This is going to be our shoulder. Okay. And then we can judge it with templating here. And we just want to kind of think of where it's actually going to be pivoting. And I want it more right here, like where the actual skeleton is going to be. So that's not quite getting me right where I want. So let's go over here. It's going way too far out that way. We got this, and select this. Okay, let me go back to the perspective viewport. Nope. Select that and then push A. Okay, let's try that. That might be too much, but let's look at what we end up getting here. Space 3, and let's get that point. Actually, that's quite good. I think that's where I want it to be rotating from. So we get the clavicle kind of coming up this way. Actually, since the clavicle's coming this way, really where it's going to be pivoting is right here. I know it sounds, or it seems quite picky, but getting the rotations right on the joints is going to be really important for the deformations once we get that. There, I want it here. Okay, so I'm going to select those, and let's go back into the perspective, and then I'll select these. Okay, and then let's look at where that ends up there. I'm going to look at it in the front viewport again, and let's, oh, I didn't keep my selection. Let's try that again. Let's get it in the front viewport again. We got it here. I think that's going to work. Maybe I'd want it a little bit higher. And the cool thing of this is once we get the deformations kind of happening, if we don't end up liking what we have, we can actually modify that in the future. So I'm going to move those. There we go. And that gets us the point up here. Yeah, that's going to be better. Okay, I'll keep that. Let me make sure we got the name there. We do. Great. And let's expand this. This is going to be the elbow. Okay. And then we want to visualize that. Get this here. So I want to get the center of the elbow. And it did to get that edge loop, but it did kind of waver a little bit from where I actually want it on the inside of the arm. So I want it to go on this edge. I'm holding Shift A. And then deselect that, push enter, and we have an edge loop. Get the name, it's going to be elbow, and then from the elbow here, I am going to create the wrist. Just trying to look, let's save this so that I don't lose any of the work. Cool. Where the wrist is going to bend. I keep on not making it all capital. Ideally, all these out nodes, you'll have them capitalized all the way. It just makes them easier to find. Okay, and then on the name, let's change this to wrist. And then let's select the appropriate edges here. Want that one or one higher? I'm gonna do that there, except for these edges here. Okay. Push enter. We don't need that templated right now. Cool. We have that. And we should get our point. and our out. Okay, so let's take a look at merging all of these. And then the add point. This is going to go to polygons by group. And then we should see that we get the kind of setup that we have here. Something we might want to consider at this point is some twist joints in the arm. So you can do them manually, but I think I'm going to just take the 2 points that we have right now and build them out as lines first. So we're going to go from the shoulder to the elbow and create a merge between them. Cool. So we have those 2 points, and then let's just duplicate that and connect that here, because that's all we need to do so that we get a line. And then we'll do resample. So with this resample, what I want is to be able to have, instead of a maximum segment length, maximum number of segments, and let's do 4, which will give us 5 points. Let's double check that. We can see you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Okay. So I just want these 3 points in the center. I don't want the start and end points because we already have them inside of the elbow and the shoulder. So let's go ahead and create a group by range. And in here we're going to do points. And right now it's selecting everything, so what we can do is deselect everything. And I could specifically specify the point numbers, but this is more procedural, so I can go in the start, bring in 1, and then in the end, bring in 1. So that way we have, if we wanted to, we can always like resample this to have more points. But when we look at the group, we're always going to get the ends out here. So in this resample, I do want it to be at, no, 4, because I want 5 points. There we go. So that way we have 3 twist joints. There's a line ends. And then let's blast these. And we're going to blast the line ends. So that way we're only stuck with these 3 points here. And then we only want the actual points themselves. So let's dissolve. And what the dissolve will do is we don't want to remove unused points. It lets us keep the points, but without the edges. Let's kind of squeeze this here. So we're going to cut these. Oops. Then add this one in, add this one in, and add this one in. And we should see that when we look at it here, we have those twist joints included. Okay, so we can take all of this, duplicate it, and then let's cut these ends, and we're going to go from the elbow to the wrist, and essentially we should have all that created here. Let's just select this one, so we get those bottom 3. So let's cut this, connect this, and then connect this last one. Okay, so we should have all the joints that we want there. And if we look at the geometry spreadsheet, with this selected, we should have most of everything the way we need it. The only problem is that twist joints do not have the proper names. So we want to make sure that these all have names here and here. What I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit more organized, is I'm going to take all of these and put it together into a subnet. This is going to be our shoulder, let's call it upper arm. Arm twist setup. Okay. So, can go here, and we can see that at this point, they are just getting names basically from the closest point that they can get. But what we can do is include a for each point loop. Okay. L, there we go. The L just lays everything out. I'm going to move these up. Okay. So for each point, we are going to add a name. And let's call it twist. And let's make it point. So now when we get to this point, we can see that it's named twist. The only problem is that we don't, each one needs a unique name. Oh, and also we need to update some of the elements of the name up here. Okay, so let's look at the expression we have for the names out here. This is going to have to be left because we're working on the character's left side right now. So left, I'm adding these to the name here, but I'm going to have to add it into the naming convention of the actual name nodes. Left. There we go. Let me save my scene again. Okay. So let's go over here in the names. Instead of C, it's going to be L. Okay. And then let's go over here. And on the name, we're going to, let's go back over here really quick. We have this control. Let's copy the parameter. And then jump into the arm twist. It's going to be paste relative reference. And then underscore L underscore upper arm twist underscore J and T. So this is looking a little bit better. We can control that it's the left side, it's the upper arm. The only thing we need is to iterate and have a unique number for each one of them. So what I am going to do is click on this for each. Let's create a meta import node. And then that gives us the iteration, so we can actually put an expression here. And I'm going to put it with ticks. Boop, boop. It's going to be detail. Or we need to put this in quotes. Slash. For each begin metadata. Close quotes, comma, iteration, comma, 0, close parentheses. And let's see if that works. There we go. So if we look at the out node, we should have 0, 1, 2, 3. This is all upper arm. That is good. So let's copy this whole structure here. And Control C to copy. Got here. Let's make this a subnet. This is going to be a lower arm twist set up. And then we can expand this here, paste it, and we are going to connect in this way. I think this for loop is going to be looking at the wrong thing, so I'm going to recreate it. It's giving me a warning, but I kept the name node so that way I can use that. Let's create a for each point, and then we can create these, then create a meta import node, attach this, and then basically for each metadata one, it should be the same name. That is good. What is the warning? There is no warning now. Let's make sure. You can see that it is naming the joints appropriately. The only thing we want to do is instead of upper arm, it's going to be lower arm twist. There we go. Okay. Let's go in here, click on this and make sure we have the naming convention all correct. Left clavicle, right shoulder, not right shoulder, but left shoulder, upper arm twist, 0, 1, 2, that's good. Elbow, lower arm twist, 0, 1, 2, and then wrist. That looks great. Let's create a couple null nodes here to organize. Null, boom, got that, and this is going to be, actually, let's clear all that, boom, and boom. So this is going to be the left upper twist point, copy, paste, and then this is going to be lower. Okay, and then this is going to be, I guess, not that. Get another null node here, and then this is going to be the out arm underscore line. Okay. And let's look at this, make sure it is going the way we anticipate it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. Okay, we got the spine and we have the arm. Let's take all of this, make a network box. This is going to be our left arm. L underscore arm network. what did I call this one? I like the name of that. So this is going to be C underscore spine underscore network. Okay, I like that. Let's take this one and let's make it that blue color also. Cool. We have the arm. So this is going to be the left arm. This is going to be the spine. And then let's take all of this and let's copy it over. So right now, when we look at this, this is all going to be on the left side. We could mirror this, but then we leave the proceduralness of the skeleton only on the left hand side. But let's say we had an asymmetrical character that we wanted to adjust on the right hand side. We can take all of these kind of points and set that up so that it works for the right side instead. So we're going to need to basically rename everything. I'm going to do R, 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 and R. So now we have the right hand versions for all of those out nodes. On the names here, I'm going to do R. Oops, here, that's what we want. R name, R name, R. And then I want to go in here, get the name. Let's change this to R, R, and then here, let's just look at the geometry spreadsheet and make sure we didn't miss anything. So we're going to get all of the names for the right hand side, and they're all named properly. Cool. Okay. So now that we have that, I am going to save here, and basically let's look at this. So we want to try to kind of mirror the selections over to the other side. Let me turn off the points here. I'm thinking with the material, right now we have a, let's go to the material, and I want to make this something where it stands out a little bit better. Okay, so I am going to select this point, and then on the back side, select that point, and then push enter. Let's go back to our object level, and select here. I don't need this templated at the moment. You should see it kind of break. Cool. So you can see it's starting from the opposite side, so that's good. Okay. Let's go to here, select that, and then we can try to mimic the selection on the other side. Copy this all the way down to here. Okay. And then looking at the shoulder blades. 1, 2. And we can deselect that. Enter. Great. And we get that point. Good. And then these, we shouldn't have to do anything. They'll get them procedurally for us once we get the correct elbow point. So if we look at this now, you'll see that it's trying to spread it across the center axis because it's looking at the left elbow. But as soon as we fix this right elbow, it will fix itself. Okay, so let's get that. Go here. And I basically just want to, oops, fix this here. Oops. That's good. I just didn't deselect enough of this. There we go. Okay, and then delete the left side, push enter. And then we should get that point. Good. And then now what I want to do is get a good wrist point. So let's visualize this. You can see that we have the other side selected also. So let's try to mimic that also. I want to see exactly what I'm going to be getting over on this side. Cool, this is it. And then we just want to get that. Cool. Okay. So we can look at the end of the line here. And then let's look at the geometry spreadsheet, make sure that the names look good. They do. Go back to the scene view and let's template the mesh again. And that looks good. It's on the opposite side. Okay. So let's do the head. The head should be pretty fun and easy. I'm gonna take that and these and this. Let's just copy that whole line out. So select all those nodes, Alt drag, and then I am going to cut that. There we go. Put it up here. And this is going to be, do we need another line here? You know what? Because the spine and the neck and everything is going to actually connect, I'm going to expand on this. So we have the whole spine here. I'm just going to go into the neck and the head already with this, rather than creating a separate chain, because I don't need a separate chain right now. So let's just say that this is the lower neck. Oops. Lower neck. Okay. And then let's select the appropriate points for that. I'm going to start one more higher. Nah. Could I even start here? You can see that it like shoots way back over here. I don't need any of these lower points. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And then manually select these. Then go from there here. And just because that's kind of the edge loop that is created just because of his anatomy, but that'll give us kind of a little bit of his traps and everything. I think that's okay. I kind of like wish this was a little bit more contained in this area. Let me just push enter there, that way I can come back to this if I wanted to. Actually, let's duplicate this, so that way we have that saved, and then let's create another edge loop, because like I feel like the neck edge loop that we, actually let's do this one, would want is going to be going through here. Obviously that's shooting up into the head from there, but it cuts across. Now we'll keep what we have right now, and then we'll make another one. Let's look at this. Okay, we have the neck. Extract the point, get the name, and let's put this as lower neck. Okay, and that is just going to go into the same chain here. Cool. And then we're going to have the mid neck. That's going to be somewhere around here. Let's do this one. You can see that it's like not being 100% cooperative. Okay, that's a good mid neck there. I just want to get rid of all that. Cool. And then holding Shift A to add to the selection and start looping it around. Okay. And that is going to be our mid neck. And then the name here. Save. Okay. Add that in. Then we're going to have the head. Let's rename the head. Okay. And then let's go up here, and we basically want to get the base of the head here. So let's get this edge loop, and we're going to shoot back this way. We don't need this that's going up here. And then select that whole front part because it's not exactly getting what we need. And I think I want it to go right into this jawline here. This jawline right here. And then pushing down the A. Around to here. There we go. Okay, we have a solid area for the head. Push enter. That gives us the centroid. We have the proper name, and then let's just connect it here. And then let's create one more for the head top, which we don't need for like binding or anything like that. We just need it to kind of visualize the top of the head, and if we want to do any parenting in the future for the top of the head. we can, like if we wanted to put a helmet on him or something like that. So the head top, and then over here for this, we want to go ahead and select where we want to get the head top. I'm going to just select something around here, but make sure it's the center line. And you can see that he is a bit asymmetrical, which is good. Okay, push enter, and then we should still get a point and everything there at the center of that. And we should have our whole skeleton going out all the way to the top of the head. Great. Okay, let us save again, and then let's get a chain here, and I'm going to make a new chain, and we're gonna start off with the fingers. Okay, so let's visualize this here, and he has 5 fingers. I'm gonna start off with the palm, and then I'm gonna go into the, no, I'm not gonna, well, I will create a palm, but it's not gonna be connected to everything else yet. So let's do, this is gonna be out hand. Okay, and this is going to be our palm, and basically for the palm it's going to be kind of a connection point for all of the fingers. And let's go to this one right here, let's do that and go here, we'll turn off the points and the point numbers, and let's select these two and this one. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, and then this is going to be the palm. Okay, so with this one, I am not going to merge the points because I need to parent a whole bunch of fingers to that, but I can basically merge. So we're going to create, I'm just going to copy this part here, and then we'll have the fingers, and this one's going to be, need a line that's going to be outputting, and let's call this index. Okay, and then we'll call this index 01. Yeah, 01. Okay, and then here this is going to be index 01. Cool. And then this is going to end up getting merged here, so that way we end up with the palm with all the finger joints, and then we go out this way. So let's make an appropriate selection for that index. And again, we want to look at where it's going to be rotating from. No, I think we had it good there. Okay, there we go. So that should end up giving us a point there. Let's look at that on the mesh to make sure that it is actually where we want it. You can see it's a little bit kind of like more pushed off to the side there than I would like. You know what, for these, instead of selecting all those, I'm just gonna get, you can see that it's a little bit twisted here. In reality, like, these are the center there, and the pivot point's actually going to be from right here, and then on the palm section will be somewhere around here. Okay, let's look at where that leaves us here. I like that positioning better. Cool. Okay. So now I am going to take this, connect it here. This is going to be index 02 point. And then here, let's select a new. Let's see if we can do a full edge loop on this one. We get it in the center. Yeah, that one's good. This is going to be index 02. Great. And then copy that over. Connect it here. It's going to be index 03. Okay, so let's go up here, make a selection for the next joint. And we're going to want to bend from right here. See what we're getting right now. That's good. Okay. 03. Cool. And then this is going to be end, or let's call it tip. That's good. And then here, go here, and what I want is that. Okay. Let's adjust the name. This is going to be index tip. Okay. So that gets us our whole index finger set up. So what I will do now is take all of these elements here, yeah, and set this up as a subnet. And then create this and say index, and then we end up with the index and the palm. If we look at this, got the palm and the index. Great. Okay, so let's copy this over. So we have the index, middle, ring, pinky. Let's do one more for the thumb. There, 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 and there. Let's name all of these. This is going to be thumb. Oh, this was already right. That's the index. Thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky. Ring, pinky. Okay, so let's go in here, jump inside, put that all out of the way. Okay, so that's where we're creating the base of the thumb. And so the thumb base is actually going to be like selecting quite a bit here because we want it to move the palm as well. Let's go there. Okay. deselect these. You can see that I accidentally selected a edge over on the other side. Oops. So let's deselect that. There we go. So we get that point there. And then let's get this one now. Okay. Like that. And then this one. This one. There we go. This one. There we go. And then let's rename all of these. Okay, and then we need to rename them in here. Okay, and let's look at it here just to make sure that things are looking the way they should, and they obviously are not. Okay, so let's look at these. I guess we're gonna have to go up and let's template this and jump into the thumb. Oops, not that, but the thumb. Did it not template, or does it not matter? Does not matter when we go in there. Okay. Let's just, I guess, select this and see what is being selected here. That is the tip, and that should not be the tip. What is this one? And that's the tip of the index finger. Okay, so let's try resetting this up. So that should be the tip of the thumb. Let's see if that fixes the line a little bit better. Let's see where this selection is here. That is good. And then let's check this one. And that one is on the tip of the thumb, which it should not be. It should be up here. Okay. Let's visualize this. That looks much, much better. Let's make sure that the naming is working the way we are expecting it to. Let's select this. So we're going to go thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 3, and thumb tip, all on the left side. That looks good. Okay, here you can see that we have the thumb, the palm, then the thumb, then the index, then repeating index because we haven't done all the other fingers. I think that the next set of fingers will be easier, so we're going to go into the middle finger. Let's do all this renaming because it's fast and easy. Middle, 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 and middle. Then we can change these things here. Okay, and now we need to go into the selections. So let's go here, here, select that, and then we know that we need the middle finger. So 1, 2, 3. And then down here it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then this is going to be the next edge loop. There you go. And this one. Edge loop here. Then this one. This is the tip. Okay, and let's look at it here. Does it look like a finger? It does. Let's make sure that the point order is going in the right setup. It is. And let's check the names. Middle 0, 2, 3, and tip. Cool. Now let's jump over to the pinky. And then the naming, pinky, 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 pinky. Okay, and then let's adjust the names. Pinky, 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 and pinky. Okay. Then let's go back to the scene view and we'll work on making the appropriate selections. 3 and because it's kind of going off to the side, I want to make sure that it's not going too much off to the side. I think that will end up being okay. And then this edge loop here. And then the tip. Okay. Let's look at the line here. Let's look at the... Let's make sure that this is right on this one here. Okay. It looks right. Okay. Let's check the naming. Piggy, 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 piggy. Cool. Let's go to the throw. Let's visualize this. And let's go. Oops. Okay, see, yeah, that's the one that looks weird, is the tip. So let's take a look at the pinky again. Let's go to the tip, and it's because we have both sets of edges selected. And then now let's go out here and look. Oh, I didn't do the ring finger. Let's do the ring finger. Okay. Ring. 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 And ring. And then let's get to the selections. Dunk. 1, 2, 3. And 2, 3. I think I did the wrong one for that one. It's okay. I'll come back and fix it. There you go. There's that. Except that we have these points selected. There we go. This one, yeah, I did the middle finger rather than the ring finger. So let's just fix that selection. Oh, I don't want both of them. I just want the ring finger. And then let's do the end here. Okay. That looks good. Let's jump back out. And let's visualize this right here. Cool. That looks good. Let's take this and put it inside of a network box. This is the left hand network. Okay. And then we're going to have to set this all up for the right hand. Excuse me. So, I'm going to take all of this, alt drag, and bring it over here. And then start renaming everything. It's going to be right, 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 and right. Cool. Let's do this. So we can see we got kind of on the ring finger and the palm where it comes in there. So I'll do that over on the other side. I think the palm is easy enough to get. And then we had a couple on the top. It's going to give us our center point. Okay. And this is going to be the right palm. Okay, let's look at the thumb. Boom, boom. So this is probably the most technical edge that we are going to be looking at. It's coming across and around the whole kind of meaty section of the thumb. And we did want it to go through the center there. There we go. And then we shot it up this way. So let's deselect that. I'm gonna have to do this one right here. Nope. I'm gonna keep it there. Then go across this way to the center. I feel like I want to just go up this way. And I think I'm kind of ending up short because I want this right here. Something kind of like that. Might not be exactly the same as on the other side. I think I probably want to do it from here. I think that's what we did on the other side. There we go. Okay. I'll leave it at that. Okay. And let's switch these to R. So that way we are working on the right hand side. And then on these names, switch them to R. Okay. Go here, select that edge, and we can kind of jump back and you can see which edge loop we're going to be working on. There we go. Got that one. Here. Jump out. And we'll get the bend here. And then here we can get the tip of the thumb. There we go. So let's just double check the line. That looks pretty good. Let's check the geometry spreadsheet that the names are correct. The names are all, let's see, there we go. Boom, that makes sense. Cool. Let's just visualize that. Why are we separating you? There we go. Okay, so let's go to the index finger and set up all these with R. I almost feel like now that I'm doing this, I procedurally want to do a lot of these R's automatically and the L's, but like create a little control node and it says like, wait, okay, this is the, you can give the name for the actual name of the finger and the side, kind of like what we did with the troll name. Oops. We want R, R. Okay, so if we look at that there, we should have the right and the index names correct. Now we just need to select the correct edges. Oops, scene view is where we want to be in. Let's jump back into the index and select the edges. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay. And then a tip. Okay, let's make sure that this all looks fine, which it does not. So one of these has an extra selection in there. Actually, let's just finalize that and do a focus in on each one of these. Curve from edges. This is for the first point. It looks like that is completely wrong. Okay. Let's look at what point number it is so we can turn on the point numbers. So 0, 1. So it should be this one that is the issue. Let's visualize that. Yep, it doesn't even have a selection on this side. Okay. Get the point numbers again. What am I going to use? Something in 1 again. Yeah, it has something selected over on the other side. Let's do this. And let's turn off the point numbers and just draw a big old box on this side. There we go. Now let's look at that finger. That looks good. Cool. Let's look at the names. Index. Cool. That's good. Scene view. Save. Okay. So if we look at it, we still have the other fingers over on the other side. There we go. Okay, so we got 2 more to fix. Actually, more than that. We only have the thumb and finger. We need the middle ring and pinky on the other side. There we go. So let's do R, 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 Got the names here. Update the R. We are on the middle finger. Boom, boom, boom. List. Doc. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then let's look at this last line. That looks good. Let's look at the names. It's middle and right. Perfect. Ring finger. Scene view. Just fix all of the names first. And then let's go over here and adjust these. Cool. We got the names set up, so let's go ahead and start selecting the proper points. Okay. Okay, we got all that good. Looks good. Let's check the names. Right, that's all good. Okay, last one. Switching everything over to right. Okay, and then let's go to the scene view and start making some selections. That. Go. There we go. And then the tip. Dunk. Okay. Let's go down here. Make sure that looks appropriate. It does. Go to the geometry spreadsheet. Do the names look good? They do. Let's go back to the level here. Let's go out to the out hand. So we have the palm, the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger. They are all set up to be on the right hand side. Let's look at the scene view. That looks good. Cool. Perfect. Okay. So next we're going to start working on the legs and make sure that these are named appropriately. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Let's take all of this and bring it down here because the leg is very similar to the arm. So let's adjust this. It's going to be leg network. Then we are going to have we won't need this one. So let's cut this. Boom. And then instead of shoulder, we are going to be looking at hip. Then instead of elbow, we are going to be looking at knee. And then instead of wrist, we're going to be looking at ankle. Okay. And then this is going to be the thigh twist. And this is going to be the calf twist. And I have these with ones. Let's get rid of the ones. Okay. That looks good. We're actually going to add a couple more on the side over here. So past the ankle, we're going to have the ball of the foot, ball, and then we're going to have another one. This is going to be the toe tips. And thinking if we want to do the individual toes, I think I'm going to do the individual toes because we have them. Is it going to matter for any of the animation I'm planning on doing for any of this? I'm just going to not have the toes for this setup, and later on if I want the toes, we can add it. I'm going to save the scene. Okay, so we have all those set up. Now we need to adjust the names. It's going to be hip, knee, ankle, foot, ball, toe tips. Okay. And then this could be the thigh twist and calf twist. Okay. Cool. Okay. So now we need an appropriate selection for the left hip. Boom. So for here, the hip, let's do this. And let's look at it in the front viewport, wireframe, and I'm going to deselect that half there. I think this will get us what we need. Let's push enter and see where that hip is compared to everything. Let's have that there and click on this so that we can see it. Can we see it? Let's go back here. I can't see it. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Okay, then we need to set up the knee points. Perfect. The back of the knee, I want to cut across here. Okay. And then these should automatically update. The only thing we're going to have to fix is the name. So this is going to be the ankle. Okay. That's the ankle. That's because I have the visibility over there. Cool. Okay. Then let's look at the ball of the foot. Let's do this one. It's going to be easier. Yeah. Yep, that looks good. That is the ball of the foot we're going to use. And then the toe tip. Let's go here and select that. And oops. I'm trying to think because the toes, right now we have a set of toes that are going to be they're a certain length, and like these are towards the front and these are towards the back, but sometimes people have a longer toe, sometimes people have a longer middle or index toe. So what I want to do is get all of these points. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to get all these points here. And I am not going to extract a centroid. What I'm going to do is do a add. And then with the add, I'm going to have 1 point. So we're creating a single point at the origin right now. It's going to be here. We don't see it because I haven't visualized it, but it's right there. And then I'm going to do match size. And if I do that with this one here, it's going to move it right into the center by default. So it's basically getting the centroid like we did with all the other objects, just a different way. But I want it to be in the furthest forward. So we're going to say max on the Z. So that way, whatever is the furthest point forward is going to be the tip of that. And then we can go here and get its name. Cool. Okay. Now let's go into the thigh twist here. And I'm just going to rename this. Instead of upper arm twist, it's going to be thigh twist. And then let's jump out to the calf twist and adjust the name. Okay. And then let's look out here, click on this, visualize it as a whole. These are not connected in there yet, so let's add that, and let's add this. There we go. Now it's looking like a foot. That is what we are expecting and what we want. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and mirror this over to the right side. So this is going to be the right leg network, and gotta get rid of the 1 and switch all the L's out for R's. Really, what I should do for all of this is write a script, but I'm almost done. It would save us a lot of time. I might do that for a future lesson. That way we can select all of the nodes and search for underscore L underscore and rename it to R underscore R or underscore R underscore. Okay. I need these last couple to move the 1. And this is out arm, it should be leg, and I'm gonna go here and change that to okay. R. Okay, and then let's get all these names. Okay, I think that is looking good. Let's change these names right now while we're changing names. Okay, so we have that, and then now let's start looking at our selection. So we have that on that side. Let's go here, and we can see that it's just this edge loop here. And then we can go to the front viewport, wireframe, and just deselect that half, enter. We got a little bit of the other side, so let's clean that up because I missed one of the edges. There we go. Okay, then let's go ahead and get the knee, and let's go back to the perspective viewport. Okay, we got that, and then let's go here. This is going to be the ankle. Okay, and then the ball of the foot, and then the tip of the toes. Okay, then let's look at the line as a whole. That looks like a foot. Let's check the names. Everything's right. Thigh, knee, calf, ankle, football, toe tips. Looks good. Okay, we have all that set up. Now, let's create, should probably color this one to match everything. So these are all of our skeleton setup sections. Now, let's create a set of object merges down here. And I'm going to go in, and if we look at the top of this chain, all of these out contexts, they are going to be what we need. Do I want to do that? No, I'm just gonna, actually I do. Okay, so let's do object merge, and here we're gonna go back to the top like I said, and let's look at our outs, and I have the out spine, there you go, and they're all going to be the line version, so that is a good here. So I'm going to just call this in spine line. Okay, and then I can do a in L underscore arm line. So let's find the L underscore arm line. There you go. And then this is going to be the R arm line, and I can just switch this over to R since I know that our naming convention is set up this way. So I'm going to put the right over here. Okay. And then we need the hand. Let's try that again. Select it, Alt drag. Okay, so you can find for L hand. There you go. Then copy this over this way. This is going to be the R hand line. And then let's do the last one. This should be the leg. And copy this over here. This is going to be the R underscore leg line. There we go. And then let's select that. And then we are going to get the L leg line. And let's copy this. And over here we will paste it. It'll be the R leg line. Okay, so let's do a merge. So the first one that I want to come in is the spine, and then let's do the arms, then the hands, then the legs. Okay, let's visualize this, and if we did it all correctly, it should pop up. And let's see. So let's go to the R leg line. Oh, that's correct. Let's go to the L leg line. Okay, and then we have the R hand. I didn't switch this over. Yay! We have our base skeleton. There is a extra point there. Where is that coming from? So you can see that we have, if we select this point here, and you can see it is a point. Okay, so let's visualize everything. I'm guessing it's with the spine. So let's go over here just because it's kind of centered with the spine. Let's go to the spine. Okay. The palm over here is not set up correctly for the right hand side, so let's take a look at that. We have the right hand over here, and let's look at the palm points, and I am certain that if we look at it, it's got the left hand side selected too. There we go. Let's push enter, and then now let's go back out here. Cool, that looks great. Okay, so we have the lines for all of our skeleton, and everything should have its own name and named correctly. We can double check everything here, but we kind of double checked everything as we went, so I'm not going to check it right now, but I'm confident that it's working. If we do come up with an issue, we can kind of troubleshoot it backwards. So now I'm going to create a rig doctor. This will convert all of our lines into joints, as we can see here. The only thing is that our elements are not parented together. So let's do a joint parent, or parent joints. Select that, and then right click and go to your rig tree, and here basically the legs, let's reparent these in a little bit more easier to follow way. So I'm going to start off with the spine, then do all of the left items, and then do all of the right items. Okay, so now when we look at our rig tree, it's gonna kind of, it didn't, that's okay. I was hoping to get a organization a little bit better, but let's go to all of the left fingers here, and then I am going to take them and put them onto the left palm. And then let's do the right fingers, put them onto the right palm. So we can see that they've parented the hand elements there together. Then let's take the palm, and those are going to go into the hand so we can expand the clavicle. Right now, if you click on it, it's just going to go on one, but if you shift click, it'll go all the way open. And the right palm, I am going to throw that into the right wrist. And then the left palm, we need to find the left clavicle. There you go. The left palm is going to go into there. Then the hips, the left thumb, let's expand. That's going to go too far. I missed the thumb. That's going to go into the palm. Okay. And then the right and left hip are going to go into the pelvis, and the clavicles are going to go into the upper chest. Okay. So if we look at it, we have the full skeleton here. Push enter, we should be able to get some, if we do a rig pose, here, some kind of forward kinematic type of actions. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay. With the rig doctor right now, if we look at the transforms, yeah, we're good. Okay. Whoa, where did everything go? Okay, yeah, it's there. You just have to push enter on the numeric keypad in order to see everything there. But we are good. All right, so we have our skeleton, and that was the whole process here. We probably can take all of this, make a network box, and let's make this blue also. Try selecting this, there we go. And this is going to be skeleton network, and then let's create a null node out here, and let's call this out full skeleton. Okay, so that gets us the full skeleton for our character. It's not bound or anything yet, but we do have the full skeleton. I'm going to save the file, and then we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.